Everything.
Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle. Unique, New York.
New York.
See, it's good for
Unique,
working up the tongue muscles.
New York.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
So Ryan, part of purchasing comic books in large quantities and always being on the hunt, something that happens is that I end up purchasing stuff that is just out there, strange, unique. So I thought, why don't we film some of these things?
You got material.
Right? We have some material.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're going to talk about Jared Fogle. I'm your host, Comic Tom. Let's talk bags and boards. Ryan's our producer. He's done a lot of editing for the show, and I thought it would be fun to show him a recent collection find that I had. And I told him, hey, Ryan, look at all these things and pull out the one that kind of stands out among the rest. I mean, you had a lot of things to choose from. A lot of comic books, a lot of original prints, sketches.
Yep.
But what was the one that you pulled out that probably made you...
Look at it twice. Something from Jared Fogle was in there.
Jared Fogle.
Autographed.
So let's pull that out first, you know, because this is a collection find, right?
It's a find, yeah.
It's a find, and I'm sure here we're holding it here, but we're gonna put it on the screen so you can get a closer, clearer shot. And it also came with
like a baseball card.
A Jared Fogle 10 years of eating fresh with Subway.
Congrats to himself. Congrats, Jared.
Card.
Yeah, like the Subway guy. That's his official title.
It's an Upper Deck Subway card. It says.
The whole thing is just Jared. 10 years of eating fresh with Subway. Congrats, Jared. Like it's an Alcoholics Anonymous coin.
And let's actually run down the facts on this card here. Jared Fogle, the Subway guy, and they trademarked that.
The Subway guy.
That's on there. Jared, fun facts. He lost 245 pounds by eating Subway sandwiches for lunch and dinner, and walking regularly.
Yeah, and also eating and exercising and watching his whatever.
Started his Subway diet on March 10th, 1998.
Fun fact.
Wow, we're actually
real useful.
If we really wanted to dive deep, we could release this on Jared. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do anything like that. And then
this whole thing.
Here's my favorite. His favorite exercise. What do you think his favorite exercise is, Ryan?
I don't know what to say. Tag. Duck, duck, goose. Is that what it says?
Okay, guys. Stick with us. There's a point to all of this, and we're not just trying to talk about Jared Fogle for a thumbnail. Keep going. Give me another.
Favorite exercise.
Yeah.
Squats.
No, that'd be too real.
How about parkour? Did he lose his weight doing parkour
Jared
and Subway sandwiches?
Favorite exercise is walking. It says that.
He is such a... it's so boring.
Okay, but what do you think
anything.
Oh, here's the real question. What do you think his favorite Subway sandwich was?
Cheese.
A cheese sandwich. That's actually a pretty good guess, right?
That's like the one thing I don't know. You don't want to eat that.
Well, you wouldn't, but I mean, what are his options? He's going to have a meatball marinara every day and lose 200 pounds? No, he probably had bread and maybe cheese. I bet more veggie sandwiches, but the card says sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
Not bad. I mean, there's worse. Oh, yeah. There's worse options.
I actually enjoyed that sandwich. I used to work at Subway, actually. It was one of my first jobs during high school.
About you. Did not know that.
Yeah, I opened the place up. I was cutting the onions and the tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I said it like that. Tomatoes.
It's tomato. That's what they say, literally.
Okay, here we go. The Jared Foundation.
Dude, is that still a thing? You think that? Oh, never mind.
I don't know.
Move past it.
Yeah, the Jared Foundation is dedicated to eliminating childhood obesity and encouraging children to adopt lifelong healthy eating and physical exercise habits.
Good message, bad messenger.
Yeah, for real. So, that's what this card says. And then, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Retroactively.
We have a couple things to say about this, though, because this is just an example of one thing that kind of just happens when purchasing collections in bulk like we do. Mm-hmm. We don't control at times what's in the collection. A lot of the times we're buying in such quantity, we can flip through as quickly as possible, but this signed print, this card was sandwiched between other autographs that were literally thrown in at the end of the purchase.
Yeah.
The lady was just like, oh, here, take these ones. And I'm like, okay. Because there's an estate sale. They're closing it out.
Yep.
I come home and I find out I have this. And it's like, what do you do with something like this? But...
what do you do?
And that was kind of a funny thing. Now, originally, I didn't want to make any type of content around this random piece that I found, but I also have been interested in sharing items like this with our audience that we find just throughout this comic book hunt that we're permanently on. And the reason why we actually stopped here to share this item is because we found a review.
That's right. We did.
We weren't going to make content on it unless we can tie it back to comic books in some capacity. And we're also not going to just make content around Jared Fogle for just shits and giggles, to an extent.
Yes.
We're actually going to provide some content ourselves because we actually found out that DC Comics teamed up with Subway to produce a comic book about Jared Fogle.
Well, about Subway. It was called Justice League. Subway Famous Fans was the name of the series.
And we're going to make sure that that's on the screen because we're going to have to provide some proof. We actually couldn't find this comic book online. I tried. I looked Amazon, eBay. I put out some feelers on my comic book group and then immediately regretted it because...
you just said feelers and Jared Fogle.
Yeah, feelers and Jared Fogle in the same sentence is not something you want to say on the mic.
It's just touchy. It's touchy all the time. It's
a
touchy subject.
It's not
a choice of words. I didn't
not
think
a good
about
word.
that either.
Not a good word. But we're going to just walk you through this comic book because this comic book does exist. It was made. It's low print, only a few pages. But it has to do with the Justice League of America. It has to do with comic books, and it has to do with the fact that Jared Fogle shook Superman's hand. So in 2011, and I looked into this, it's kind of tough to figure out exactly what went on, but DC Comics, either through sponsorships or just endorsements, teamed up with various athletic/healthy companies.
That's a pretty solid way to phrase it, I would say.
Right? Like there's, it's a short run of how many comics?
I think 4.
4 comic books that featured, Michael Phelps was in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Muhammad Ali was in another one. And the last one featured Jared Fogle from Subway.
Our guy himself.
And this comic book is terrible. This comic book is poorly written. I mean, it's just literally...
6 pages.
It's 6 pages of eat Subway sandwiches with DC Comics on the cover and DC heroes all around.
So in this comic, it starts with Jared and this other lady. They're walking around. They're hungry. And of course...
they're hungry.
The only thing they can think of, the only thing any of us can really think of, honestly, is Subway sandwiches. At all times.
Chicken teriyaki sandwiches.
Really?
In particular.
That's the best for you. You should just probably eat those all day.
You should eat those and walk around every day.
Walk around. So they're walking to their nearest local Subway restaurant.
And this is, they're excited.
They're super excited.
You can see the way that the inks were drawn, that there's
passionate. They're passionate.
They're passionate about
artists.
the sandwiches. They're excited to go see some sandwich artists. But then a green bang.
Bang!
Whoa, out of nowhere.
Look out!
Look out!
Oh no!
And if Jared, he's got to run towards it. He's not just going to let an explosion deter him from...
No, Jared is a hero. He's in the comic book with, Justice League.
This isn't us. This is DC Comics. This isn't us. This is what happened. But he runs towards him. He runs towards him, and what does he see?
He sees Big Flash, right? They both see the Big Bang.
And
it's in a construction site.
Green Lantern comes out of nowhere with a freaking machine gun. Shooting off at this villain. I don't even know who the villain was.
Manhunter. It's one of the Manhunters.
One of the Manhunters. It was a powerful scene. Powerful panel.
Emotional.
But
riveting.
Green Lantern being the... I don't want to call him dumb superhero that he is, but...
trash. He's pretty much the worst.
Is he the worst superhero?
He's absolutely the worst. Yeah. He's worthless. So he's busy shooting a fake gun at this robot. And this big steel beam's falling down because they're having this big fight in a construction site.
Oh my gosh.
Steel beam out of nowhere. It's about to crush this poor helpless guy. Ah! Construction worker. Nothing to do. Boom! Jared saves the day.
Out of nowhere. Jared comes out of nowhere.
With a flying leap, pushes the dude out of the way.
Grabs him. Saves him.
The guy literally says, "How'd you do that?" And Jared goes, "Subway."
Subway.
I ate Subway sandwiches. And that's how I did that. You eat Subway sandwiches, you can do superheroic feats of bravery.
More than Green Lantern.
Basically.
More than Green Lantern.
That's all Hal Jordan was missing, was Subway sandwiches.
Of course, because he saved the day, he impressed one superhero in particular.
Mm-hmm.
The superhero that
Superheroes.
Superheroes. The JLA. The country.
Superman.
Superman tells Jared that he did something really heroic.
Save the day.
So you see, Ryan, there's a lot of history in this stuff. And not everything that we end up with throughout this collecting that we do, these purchasing of collections that we do, is going to get us things that we're really after, things that we're even going to sell. I'm not going to sell this, you know?
Good.
I'm certainly not going to sell this.
She probably slipped it in there at the last minute so she could get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
And when I say I'm not going to sell it, it's not because that I'm excited to own it and I don't want to let it go. No, on the contrary, I'm closer to just throwing it away than doing anything else with it. But it was an interesting find that just happened. And this isn't the only thing that I've come across. And I definitely have more stories. And what's interesting is that other comic book dealers and those who are in this comic book game, this hustle, they have their own interesting stories too. And I'm excited to share those with the community and with you again on the mic. Thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Thank you. I've enjoyed myself. Geek responsibly.
Enough said. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more comic book content like this, hit that subscribe button.